Ever since I first started playing WoW at the beginning of Wrath of the Lich King, I've been kind of favoring Battlegrounds over Arena and DPSing over healing. But in the immortal words of Batman,
things change.
Lately, I've been doing a lot more Arena than Battlegrounds, and I've been healing in a lot of Arena 2s, random people, random players that I find in LFG. Now, I do prefer doing Arena 3s, but I can't find a third person, which really kind of sucks. It's all good, though, because Blizzard will definitely implement solo queue in the upcoming X-Pack Battle for Azeroth.
A lot of people in the community have talked about solo queue and being able to queue into ranked PvP with like a dynamic rating system like League of Legends or a lot of other competitive games like even Overwatch. Is there any plans to implement something like that in World of Warcraft?
Not currently.
Okay.
If you're like me, you dabbled in Arena in the past, here and there, but didn't advance beyond the casual stage, for one reason or another, I've got the absolute perfect solution for you to ease you in. Here it is. Now, maybe you're not ready to jump into Skype or Discord and talk with other players until you know them a little bit better or feel like you've established a little bit better synergy or rapport in game, or maybe you're like me and you're playing a new role or a new class and you kind of want to put mute on the ragers out there, okay? This is perhaps the best macro that you're going to find. It's going to ease you into Arena seamlessly. Matter of fact, even if you're part of a steady and consistent group, I strongly suggest using this very simple yet highly effective macro for a few different reasons. And I'm going to get into those in a minute or two, but first, here's the macro. It's /party and then in brackets bursting. And the next line /cast, and then you put in, if you're obviously a Windwalker Monk, Serenity. If you're a Frost DK, Pillar of Frost. If you're a Ret Paladin, Avenging Wrath. If you're a Demon Hunter, Havoc style, Nemesis. You see where I'm going with this. This will macro in your burst buff and alert your healer. Now, here's the point. If you're running a lot of pug arenas through LFG, you're making new friends or simply adding new people to your ignore list, this macro is nothing less than brilliant. When you pop your burst, the macro will announce in party chat you're bursting and tip off your healer. Effective communication as well as coordination both share on the same level here, equal with skill in Arena. Keep in mind, at the start of the Arena session, be certain you tell your healer what he needs to do when you pop the macro. Most of the time, his role will be CC the opposing healer. Unless you burst on the opposing healer, then your healer should CC the DPS. This will not be a problem, or it really shouldn't be a problem for a priest or a druid because they both possess a CC without a cooldown. That's Mind Control, Cyclone, respectively. A Shaman, Hex, 10 seconds with a PvP talent, 30 seconds without the talent. Also, not much of a problem there. Most Shaman will take that 10-second CC on Hex. Paladin and Mistweaver monks, well, may not have a CC readily available. Depends how much they're kiting around, how much they have to use it. But that brings me to the next reason this macro makes amazing sense in a wax on, wax off sort of way from the classic Karate Kid.
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand. Wax on, wax off. Breathe in through nose, out the mouth.
Now, if you use this macro, you'll subconsciously start coordinating your CCs much better and saving them for a better situation at the right time. And nothing simplifies success better than simply doing the right thing or making the right move at the right time. If you're a healer, there are two ways this macro can work in your favor. The first macro is /party and then in brackets as many 911s as you want to put in. Even the best of the best healers are going to burn through CDs, whether it's defenses, speed boosts, a trinket, CC, a big heal. There is usually going to be a window where a healer is in trouble. you're going to need help, or at the very least, some kind of a distraction. Sometimes you just need 2 or 3 seconds to improve your positioning or catch up on your healing, and you don't really want to risk getting locked out of a school with a bad juke, to be quite honest. Now, the reality is, if you run out of CDs, if you run out of CDs and get stun locked for 5 or 6 seconds, even an average DPS can take out 50 to 60% of your health, and a highly skilled DPS will end the game right there. Keep in mind, at the start of the arena session, be sure you tell your DPS what needs to be done when you pop the 911 macro. The bottom line here is, by intervening, your DPS might do enough to disrupt an opponent's burst cycle and buy more time. Obviously, a warlock, a priest, a mage, or even a druid are perfect for this because each of them possesses CC without a cooldown. In other words, it's on demand, and all they need to do is make sure they're in position or range. Now, the second macro for a healer is the following. It's /party, and then in brackets, you could say range, /sight, you could say LOS, whatever you feel like saying. Now, the reason this is important is I've lost count, to be quite honest, of how many times I've had a DPS chase a healer with full health and also chase a DPS behind a pillar, putting himself vulnerable to big damage and forcing his healer into the open where he can easily be chain CC'd, especially by a mage or a druid or a warlock. If the opposing healer is below 25% health and in the kill zone, then the risk is more worth the reward. And especially if the opposing DPS is not behind the pillar there as well, then it's definitely worth it. Now, obviously, hopping on Skype or Discord or Curse or whatever your favorite communication device might be is more ideal. There's no doubt about that. But the fact is, sometimes it's better to try people out before you hop on voice. And trust me here, it's really awkward hooking up on voice right away with a player you found in LFG or trade chat or even your own guild, and you find out they don't really know their class that well, or they don't know the maps, or they don't know the strats and don't create kill opportunities. They're not good with CC, whatever the case might be. Plus, if you use this macro, when you're looking for arena partners, people are going to think 2 things about you. 1, you're serious about winning, and 2, you know your shit. Now, to be honest, I didn't come up with this idea or macro. Some random Frost DK I found in LFG did. And I thought, this guy is serious about winning, and he knows his shit. And guess what? We won about 90% of our games. Now, you don't need to be 2.2K rated or a rank 1 arena to recognize a good idea. Matter of fact, I've done over 1,000 Arena 2s this season alone. And this is the one and only guy who showed a little bit of innovation and creativity. And sometimes that's all you need to do to make a difference. And incidentally, in all those arenas, all 1,000 of them, or 1,000 plus, I didn't see one single DPS on my team or the opposing team use a bandage. These are very basic things that people often throw by the wayside, and I think they're pretty good to use. Now, of course, you might be playing an alt and maybe you didn't, level up your bandages, so to speak. I'm in that situation, but hey, just pointing it out. And the reason I'm pointing it out is sometimes people are going to criticize your game, and yet they're not coming up with this macro, and they're not out there bandaging themselves when they're in a 1v1 behind a pillar. Just wanted to let that be known. This is Luxley saying, whatever it is by you, morning, afternoon, or night, make it epic.